Welcome to the J&J Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, James Ludeman and James Pritzky.
Yes, that is the theme song, the same song, the lovely song that we play every week. We are live here on the J&J Wrestling Podcast right here on mixlr.com/J&J-podcast.
You seem to have a problem with things being played
You're already
over and over
starting.
again.
You're already starting with me and this problem.
You complained about the commercial we've been running for the last 4 weeks. Okay,
4 weeks. 4 weeks. All right. Anyway,
now you're complaining about the entrance theme song.
I'm not complaining about anything.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Anyway,
sure.
We are live here, and we have a very special guest that's actually here with us in studio right now, hanging out with us. He is the GCW. Well, what is your official title with the company? A lot.
GCW owner.
GCW, yeah, hold that up so we can.
GCW owner.
Okay, GCW owner. Jeremy
Inspirational
Gomez.
guru.
That's Mr. Gomez.
The boss.
Mr. Gomez.
Mr. Gomez.
The boss.
The boss. All right.
Head of the Inner Circle. Messiah. Inspirational guru. I already said that.
Okay. All
cetera.
right. Well, good. Well, hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
First of all.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. Really, we're just going to kind of start this off. I know we got a big event we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes with the Chocolate Festival. We've been talking about that on our show the last... Chocolate.
There'll be some chocolate.
There will be. But tell us just a little bit about yourself. I mean, how did this whole GCW thing get started? First of all, how long has it been? How long have you had GCW?
Man, it's only been... Well, our first show was in October, so...
October of last year?
Yeah, October of 2018. It hasn't been very long. So I guess the company started... Yeah, I guess the first time GCW was mentioned or uttered was like maybe 3-4 months before that. So getting about almost a year now, not long.
All right, so kind of what brought this on? What's the is there? Did you have wrestling background, and that's kind of where it started at?
Man,
tell us a little bit how it started.
I have zero wrestling background other than the fact that I've been watching wrestling all my life. From like, I started watching AWA like before WCW and before WWF. I mean, WWF might have still been WWF at the time. Not 100% sure, but That's about my only background in wrestling. I didn't do any fighting. I didn't do any wrestling in high school other than, out of class fighting, stuff like that.
In other words, he was a fan like us.
Yeah, true. Very, very much so.
Yeah, and now I guess I'm the money mark now.
So where did GCW originate? What happened?
So I run some other businesses. I run Generation Entertainment Florida, which is an entertainment company. We started out doing food truck events. My company has the Guinness World Record for the largest parade of food trucks.
Wow.
And then we branched out from it being a food truck event to it just being a festival to not always being food truck festivals, music festivals, this and that, et cetera. And one of our festivals is CannaFest Florida, which is the biggest cannabis festival in the Southeast United States. Probably not anymore because the last one was, can I curse? I'm gonna
sure.
curse.
Go ahead.
Effing horrible. I'm going to do my best to bleep
You're
myself.
okay.
Man, cannabis got so political in the last 2 years. You thought it was political. Now it's political. It's spiteful and stupid, and I hate it now. Other than smoking it. But no. So here's the thing. So CannaFest, I dislike my own festival now. So what I found out along the way, obviously, is the reason we got into CannaFest in the first time wasn't really to make money. My daughter's autistic, and cannabis research has led us to CBD, which is the non-hallucinogenic, non-get-you-high part of cannabis, and CBD is helping autism. Helps them focus, pretty much. Instead of thinking of 200 things, my daughter, when she's on CBD, is thinking of maybe 50 things at once.
Right.
She's very high-functioning, but so that got us into doing research on the health benefits of it, and then we found out that part of the festival, my wife had a fashion show with her clothing line, 420 Nation Clothing. One of our models was a wrestler. I guess he just likes weed and he thinks he looks good. Imagine a wrestler thinking they're all that. And I'm making fun of him right now.
Really?
And that model was actually the GCW champion. The Oracle, let me see if I get all his nicknames right. The Oracle Sir Rios Badu, which is Jay Rios.
Okay.
Jay Rios, if you know or not, he used to be on Impact Wrestling. He works for The Crash. He works a lot of places all over the country. He's been a thing. He's been a thing for a while. He's well known in the community, and he just happened to be a model. So I started talking to him, and then I started researching. Well, I've always known how many pill and alcohol induced deaths there are in the wrestling business. I mean, that's one of the biggest takers of workers. So through research, we started finding out that, man, if these people could be taking CBD or smoking weed in general, a lot of them wouldn't even be taking pain pills. A lot of them wouldn't be drinking at all, and that's a fact. So I was thinking at the time, like, man, I've got this big festival. This company is going okay. This company is going okay. Things are going okay. I want to do something else. So I started talking to him. He's like, well, why don't we have a wrestling show that's like a pro cannabis wrestling show? Me and Jay are having this conversation. Right. So me never wanting to do anything small. I was like, no, F that. Why don't we just do a whole pro cannabis wrestling company? Not like Cheech and Chong, everybody's stupid, falling over, that kind of like parody of actual cannabis. Let's do a company where it's okay if my wrestlers tell me they smoke. It's okay if my wrestlers are using CBD, because I'd rather my workers work longer and take care of their families for longer and not die. Whereas maybe some of the bigger companies would rather be, I don't even know if you can say politically correct anymore, because cannabis is getting pretty politically correct now. But at the time, some of the larger companies were like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do this unless you're like RVD or somebody else.
Right, yeah.
So those guys were resorting to the bad stuff. So I was like, let's go ahead and do that, as long as it doesn't become a parody of just people stoned all over the place. So I don't know if you've ever seen any of our matches or any of our outtakes. I mean, you might see somebody holding a joint, or you might see me holding a joint or something like that, but you're never going to see us in the ring talking about stupid Cheech and Chong kind of funny. It's in the background. It's in the thing. We just want people to know that if they come with us, we'd rather them do this instead of do that. So
it's a message of safety in a world that is not very safe with drugs. And hey, listen, fans, I'm not going to tell you I'm no stranger to this. I actually have a family member who has a drug addiction, and if this was really the true way that they stayed away from what they do, then this might be the right way to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all do. I mean, again, I also have family who struggle with drugs and alcohol too. So, I think we all at some point have family or friends who struggle with that.
It hits the story right home, okay? If you're going to do something that has been considered safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
To do, but why isn't it considered legal right now? And of course, they're working in Congress, especially here in Florida. Florida's actually about ready to get in there.
Yeah, the new governor
Colorado
made it even better. So
yes, Governor DeSantis has definitely done a lot of things better. I'm happy for that purpose. I'm happy for Common Core going away. And of that, oh my God!
I'll have to teach it to my daughters.
2 plus 2 is 5.
2 plus 2 is 5. Really,
2 plus 2 is 5. Actually,
nevertheless,
and when we go to other states, because already in our short time, we've already done shows in Michigan. Our first show in Tampa, where we're from, was like our last show. Everything else has been, we've took GCW up to my event in Michigan, where there was, at the States, so there was 70,000 people at my food truck event up there. So we had our packed show up there. So we travel. So other states, it is legal. So it's not even a big deal.
So, there's a pretty good response to GCW.
So here's the thing. It became a great response really quick. Between Jay Rios is now our booker.
Right.
He holds the book, and I've actually gotten yelled at by Jay for booking matches before because I'm not the book. So, which was smart because
I've seen this happen somewhere before.
Oh man, he's smarter than me, so it was well received. Trust me. Trust me. I'll tell you about it later. It's funny. It would have been funnier if Sam made the show because it's partially has to do with Sam in a good way. But so we got a really good reception from him, being our booking agent. He's the truth. People believe him.
Right.
People understand that he cares, and he does, because I've seen it. Jay's awesome. I can't say enough cool about Jay. So we got a good reception quick. Then we got a good reception for taking care of our workers at CannaFest. We take care of our. I come from an industry where I've had a lot of bad promoters around me, because I came out of the music industry. Tons of bad promoters.
Right.
Food truck industry, when it started, it was like the Wild West. There's bad I've never wanted to be one of those promoters who people hate working for. So we got a good name early from taking care of our people. We don't pay bad. We pay, I would say, well. People tell us we pay well, which is fine. They deserve to be paid well. They have families. They drive forever. a lot
of the people on this card, we've seen already. Just in other shows. This is one of the things that I'm not sure if you've listened to. I'm sure you have listened to our show before, but one of the things that I think this show is all about, and one of the legacies of this show that I hope continues on, is that and I know it will, but one of the things that was very prevalent for us is that, and this is why I'm glad you're here, is because we want to highlight stuff like this. You know, we talk WWE, we talk NXT, we talk those companies that are already kind of Impact, all that point.
Of course.
But I think there's not enough that goes into indie wrestling and how hard these men and women really work at this.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. Especially right here in Florida, where there is a lot of independent wrestling down here.
Yeah.
GCW, PWE, Atomic.
Yeah.
ACW,
yeah,
and of course, and then WXW up in Manolia. Okay, there's a lot.
And Orlando's not far away either.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Orlando's not far away either. I see that Wrestle War 1's coming in 2 weeks over there. Yep. So there's a lot going on in the independent scene right here in Florida. Down South Florida, Gangrel has his academy down there.
Had him at our first show. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one way I got to see.
And I think one of the focal points of what's going on in Florida is Jesse Neal.
Yeah,
Jesse's awesome.
And Jesse's going to be at your show.
Jesse's great, man. Jesse was at GCW 1. Jesse's cool, man. We had an incident the other day, and I'm just shooting for a second. This is, one of our brothers, Rex, passed away.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that.
Jesse was actually one of the people that reached out to me. And a lot of people telling me that they're sorry for me. Rex was a big part of GCW. I've never done a show without Rex. Rex is the person that I would also call and talk to about wrestling and everything. If you met Rex, you know that you. So I don't deserve people reaching out to me, but Jesse's one of those people that reached out to me, just asked if I was okay, tell me, if you need anything, please call, talk to me here, And Jesse doesn't need to do that because Jesse's over as hell, and I'm one of the greenest people on the block.
Yeah.
So I really like Jesse. Jesse's a cool guy. They had a hard match at GCW 1. I'm glad he's coming back for this one, man. It's gonna be good to see him again.
Rex is and just to be honest, and to be 100% transparent with you as I always am, I've seen Rex wrestle. I've not met him personally, unfortunately. I really wish I had that opportunity before. But man, every person that we have talked to about Rex or anything that's been said, everything's been positive.
All of them.
Yeah.
And I actually the other day you posted the YouTube video of his last match in GCW, and that was some powerful stuff, man. And I know that's got to be very difficult to go through that.
I'm a weird soul. I can get down on it, and people look at death a different way than me. Yeah. Maybe it's my religion, maybe it's my upbringing or something like that. But I'm sure I'll see Rex again. I'm not too worried about it.
I'm with
you. It was gut wrenching for me maybe the first time I saw it, but when I look back at it now, because I've seen that match a lot, and I think of what an honor it was, because Rex had already told me a week before not to tell anybody that Rex, pretty much every breath Rex took a week before the match was pain, like pain. And to see Rex go out there and put on the match knowing that every step he took was just agony for him and still put on a good match so that the other people in the match with him, were put over. And he was giving us all the honor of doing that for us, not for him, because he could have just walked off. And, Rex knew what his fate was. Rex knew that he wasn't going to be around too much longer. There was no amount of applause that he could get that was going to change that. So he didn't do that for him. He did that for all of us. He went out there and had an awesome match with Jay because he loved Jay, and he wanted to give Jay the honor of his last match. He loved the Metros. He loved Hunter. He loved everybody in the match.
Yeah.
So, and he believed in GCW and what GCW was trying to do. So he wanted to go out there and honor us with that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I got down about it the first time I saw it, but now when I look at it, it makes me smile because that's some dude doing what he loves and putting like every ounce into it for everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Rex usually taught people to do. It's like instead of paying attention to yourself, you just pay attention to everybody else and take care of everybody. So, it's good stuff,
I mean,
man.
it's tough to do that in this type of thing. I mean,
didn't mean to get off Jesse Neal.
No, you're good. No, and honestly, like I mentioned before, I was going to ask you about this anyway, but I think that speaks volumes to his legacy to come in and say, hey, this is more about a team thing than it is about an individual.
And as a team, I mean, even I reached out to you on Facebook to ask if you were okay.
Yes,
and that was important because I knew just by the response by all of your members of your team reaching out to you about how Rex was part of your family. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get a chance to if you get a chance, get on Facebook, go look up GCW on Facebook and watch that match. It's maybe one of Rex's best matches because it was his last match.
It's a good match too.
See.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
He put a lot of effort into that, and he'll be the first one to tell you it hurt every single minute of the day. Yeah. He was still here to tell you.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, Rex, we know you're watching from above.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
And brother, smoke one for us.
Yeah. So, all right, well, let's,
Picking on me every time I have a Mark moment.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the event on February 16th. So this is the Love of Wrestling. It's going to take place at the Tampa Bay Chocolate Festival in Tampa. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I wanted to ask about, this event is free.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little about that thought process?
So, fourth GCW event. Only one of them was a paid event so far. You only had to pay to get into one, and that was the one that was the benefit for Rex. So that all went. Every penny of that went to Rex.
Okay.
So yeah, here goes another one. So one of the things that I thought of when I was starting the wrestling company is that I have the ability that I have these big festivals going on.
Right.
And that I could set my wrestling down at my festival, and you're going to have a lot of beautiful, speedy pictures, Sadiel, cool. You're going to have a lot of beautiful, speedy pictures with a whole bunch of people around watching your show already, even if you don't have any fans. So I wanted to start off, part of our marketing at first that I thought we were going to have to do a ton of marketing was that we wanted people to know that we were around. So that was where that was going. So it's cool that we have a fan base, but here we go. This is the last festival that we had planned to be a part of for free, and it's finally come around. So that's how it happened.
Okay.
Chocolate Festival's free.
Yeah.
The wrestling event's part of it. That's free. We got a lot going on. Parking's free.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to pay for there is the food. I mean, we're showing like Willy Wonka on the big screen tonight. That's free. Like
that's cool.
There's music coming. That's free too.
I don't mind paying for chocolate, my man.
No. See, you could again. That's just my sense of. I want to be a better promoter, man. I mean, I make enough money off the vendors and I make enough money off sponsors and people at the event that I don't need to charge people to get in the door. Yeah. I'd rather than just be there and have fun because my job as an entertainer is to, break people away from their
day to day.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
And speaking of that, you've already actually announced your next show, which will be GCW 5.
Yes, which after just saying people should come for free, I'm going to say this. GCW 5, you should pay to come.
You should pay to show up.
But here's the great thing.
Difference between a festival and a show.
But here's the great thing about this, okay, fans. Come down here, watch this show for free, just to see how great these performers are. Jesse Neal, Chuckles the Clown.
Oh gosh, Chuckles! Here we go.
He's
scared of Chuckles.
Yeah.
By the way,
I know he is.
He's scared of Chuckles.
It's not going to be good.
The Metro Brothers.
Right.
Definitely want to come down and watch them on the 16th. Okay, and then you'll like it so much that you're going to want to see him again in Port Richey.
And we figured that would happen too.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's cool though. You got to give people value first.
Is it a golf for you?
Yes.
The next event?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's what I figured. So let's go through the card. I want to talk a little bit about this card because there's obviously some wrestlers that I'm interested in here.
Let's do it.
I'm the one in particular I'm interested in. That is the GCW.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The GCW Women's Champion Trish Adora.
The Queen of GCW, Trish Adora.
I'm telling you, have you seen her wrestle?
She's a beast, man.
She is, but she is facing a beast.
Yeah.
Jenna Van
Muscles making her debut.
Van Muscles. I saw that name and I was like, I wonder if she's really got muscle. And then you see a picture of her.
She's jacked, she does.
Dude.
She's got some
scary.
muscles.
She's jacked.
Yeah.
Now there was
Kristen Deck's going to be part of that match too. She'll be on in Trish's corner.
There was actually a poll.
Okay. Yeah.
To determine which one of the two women's matches that will be on the show that will be a triple threat match, and that poll has ended.
Yeah, it has. So. I
didn't see that poll.
You did not see that poll?
I missed that one.
I actually voted for the championship match because, quite honestly, I believe that the former Blue Pants, Leva Bates, deserves to be in a championship match.
She's a friend of the show as well. She's a friend of theirs.
I mean, I guess she makes a lot of demands and she wants to be part of the main event and all that. But I mean,
wow.
And the promoter speaks.
I don't
even know. I was gonna say I don't know if that was Jeremy Gomez or Mr. Gomez. That was a soft-spoken man who says very little right there.
It was probably Mr. Gomez.
I was gonna say that's a Mr. Gomez.
As a Jeremy Gomez, I would say Leva's awesome, and I used to enjoy her rocking Blue Pants, and I popped for her when they actually gave her a real song.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't stand the song, it's hysterical.
Let's talk about my other favorite match on the card. The Clown King Chuckles versus the Technical Alchemist David Mercury. Now, I have seen David Mercury in person a few times, and this man is very talented.
Oh, I can't wait to see him take Chuckles down, tie him up like a pretzel.
Whatever. This is one card that I would say has a lot of interesting dynamics. Interesting clash of styles.
Jay's a good booker, man. Jay's a great booker.
I mean, you have Chuckles, who's kind of I don't even know how you would describe his style. Psychotic style.
An unorthodox psychotic powerhouse.
Versus David Mercury, who's kind of more of a,
scientifically psychotic.
Yeah, scientifically psychotic.
Ground and pound technically. Yeah. And, I'm telling you right now, it's a clash of styles, but you know what? That clash of styles is going to prove to be a very, very interesting match at the Love of Wrestling.
I will be. I'll be paying close attention to that one, man. Every time, Chuckles scares the hell out of both of us actually, because I don't know if he's playing psychotic or actually psychotic. Whereas at the same time, he could be the smartest person in the room, which is even scarier. But David is a good wrestler, man. He's been a good wrestler. That's what he used to do. He was a wrestler until he became a pro wrestler. And Chuckles is a big crazy brute that'll rip your head out and pull it out your ass. And pardon my language, but that's Chuckles. But
that's why.
But the thing is, they both work their ass off and they both play their characters so well that it's in my head when you book that match. I hate to say in my head that the promos are taking weight over the match, but in my head I can just see years of promos between those two, and it's going to be good. And then on top of that, you get a great wrestling match every time. Yeah,
you gotta and see. I am one of those people that I am very much in love with the art of a promo. I'm all about that. If that was one thing in my lifetime that I could do, was be an okay wrestler but a great promotion person. That would be me.
And that's both of them.
I want to be a talker. That's the kind of wrestler I'd always, if I were into that, if I were into, like not fat and stuff, like I would be.
It doesn't make a difference the size of you, man. Because here's the thing, okay?
Athletic,
if you want to promote
want
something, you get on the microphone and you promote it. February 16th in Tampa, Florida, at the Chocolate Festival. You're going to see GCW for A Love of Wrestling, and it's going to be free. So with that said, get there, be there. It is 2 weeks. I'm sorry, 2 weeks from today.
That's
from
not
tomorrow.
The kind of promote.
Tomorrow, yesterday?
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. Sorry, I hit the green a little bit before we got
That's okay. That's okay.
It's 2 weeks from yesterday. Correct.
It happens. Yeah. It happens.
So let's talk about, here, instead of going through this whole card,
sure.
What's a match that you're, obviously you were just saying Chuckles and out David Mercury, but what's a match you're really, obviously Jay.
The Inner Circle, Jay Rios against Mecha Wolf with Mr. Gomez in the corner, or possibly the Inner Circle's Metro Brothers against, who the hell are the Metros even wrestling? Does it matter?
They're wrestling the Natural Treehouse Lee and the Authority Eddie Torres.
The guy that sits in the tree and then the guy in the suit. Okay, well.
Guy in the suit.
Right, so maybe not the guy in the suit and the guy in the tree, but the Mecha Wolf, that guy, I've seen him wrestle. He is phenomenal in the ring. He could be a very good challenge for you.
The guy that thinks he's a lichen or a wolf or something.
Is his name really the Natural Treehouse? I'm sorry.
Treehouse Lee?
Yeah.
I know Treehouse is Treehouse Lee. I call him Tree.
That's funny.
My daughter, my 4-year-old calls him Tree. I mean, to my family, he's Tree.
That's what I would say to
He literally went Christmas tree shopping with me and helped me pick out my Christmas tree. That's not even a joke. He seriously got trees awesome.
That's something I would say about him. He's a tree. Big old tree.
I'll say something about both. Tree is... the Rios Mecha Wolf match is going to be awesome. Those guys are lucha crazy, solid wrestlers. They're both nuts. Mecha Wolf scares the hell out of me physically. He just looks like a guy that you don't want to mess with ever. Rios is a complete badass. That one's just going to be awesome. The Metro Brothers against Treehouse and the Authority. Tree is, I don't know if many people know this, Tree is Saeed's brother, Saeed Al-Sabah's brother. Those two guys are blessed, gifted with athleticism. Treehouse is, I call him the natural because when I watch him wrestle, it looks like everything he does is just natural to him. And it sounds cool because it's Tree after the natural, but he's a natural to me. Eddie Torres is a bruiser. He is a brute, and he's like a force of nature. And on top of that, he's technically sound. So those two matches. Not just because Inner Circle's in them, which is our faction. Those two matches are going to be sick, man. But me trying to separate them from the rest of the card, I think the card is solid, man. There's not a lot that I
love Fabulous Fitness. They're on this card, and those two guys. Those two guys are awesome. They're facing the Coda and the Gym Nasty Boys. A lot of triple threats going on.
It's not a triple threat. It's 4-way.
Oh, is this not an updated card?
Did I not? Oh, they're
on Facebook.
You know who else is on that in the match?
No.
Effie and Jamie Senegal are tagging together for the first time, so they're also in that match.
Ah.
And their tag team is called the Kinsey Scale.
Okay.
It's apparently the hottest tag team name in the effing world now for our event.
Wow.
Look it up. But yeah, that's going to be the Coda making their debut.
Something with scale on there.
Yeah, I think that's,
Not that kind of scale. It's going to get me in trouble. So Coda making their debut in that match. Kinsey Scale making their debut in that match. Gym Nasty's making their debut in that match. And Fabulous Fitness coming back to GCW for, I think, the fourth time. I think they've been at every show. I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Aria Blake, Avery Taylor, Leva Blake.
I think that's how it's going to end up. We did do that poll to see where Leva was going to go in the title match or against Aria and Avery, and surprising to us, people want to watch her wrestle Aria and Avery first, so that's going to...
I think we should up the stakes. You're the boss. I know the promoter might not like it, but that's all right.
Yeah, I know better.
Maybe the winner of this match should be facing the champion, whoever it is.
I know better. We might have done something like that, or something's going to happen.
I was going to say, don't book now.
I can't give away too much.
Come on here and get in trouble now.
I can't give away too much.
I always get in trouble. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking about him trying to be the booker over here.
I'm kind of scared, though, for Leva, man. You put her in that championship match, and you got her facing the Queen, Trish Adora, which is a beast. You got Jenna Van Muscles making her debut, which is a beast. And then next to Trish Adora, you got Kristen Deck, which I don't know if you've seen Kristen Deck yet.
I have not.
At the end of GCW 3, she made her presence known. And let me tell you, man, I pass her in the back, and I just kind of look up because I think she's 6'5" or something like that. And
that'd be an eye-to-eye conversation for me.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think she's actually bigger than you.
Maybe a little bit.
She's a tree. She's scary, man.
You had some choice words for two other men to have a match. And that would be the fastest man in wrestling, Sam C, and Mikey Spandex. Yeah. And we had this little conversation.
Are we going into this right now?
It was on our Twitter.
It's fine.
Wow.
What happened?
You basically had enough of them.
Sam, the fastest man in wrestling, couldn't be here. I guess he couldn't get a ride, or maybe he's not fast enough to jog.
No. Wow. There were other reasons beyond his control, but nevertheless, he cannot be here.
Yeah, whatever. And then you got Mikey Spandex, the Grand Marshal of Spandex, who's wears a lot of spandex.
This is wrestling. I think a lot of people wear spandex.
Yeah, but we don't glorify how awesome it is to wear spandex like Mikey does. Although I hear he just got a spandex company endorsement, which is awesome. But no, I don't.
That's awesome.
I don't have any beef with them. I just like to give them crap. They're both making their debut finally at GCW. They both kiss a lot of ass, which
wow.
Which you know what?
Whoa.
You know what? I love it, though. It's fine. And not because I love it from a pride standpoint, like these guys are kissing ass. When I say they kiss a lot of ass, all right, I'll put it this way. And I'm going to shoot, and I don't give a shit if they get mad at me for it. They can come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
They put themselves over a lot. And I'll go ahead and be honest. The reason my book got mad at me is because they were putting themselves over for this event, and they wanted a no DQ match. And they're debuting, they're fresh, and they're young. And I was like, you know what, fine, give them a no DQ match. Because in my mind, let them beat the hell out of each other and prove it. They might be the best match of their lives, and they might prove that they have to be here. But at the same time, pushing yourselves in the first time that you've been at an event in the first match and being a little younger than the rest of your guys, being marks for yourself and pushing yourself over was the wrong thing to do. And I let them get to me, and I let them have the match for different reasons. But I let them have the match, and then the book yelled at me, and we yelled at them. So blah, 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 blah. And that was my second scolding in professional wrestling. So I just give them shit because they were part of that, which is actually a loving moment.
This match is no DQ?
No, it's a normal match.
Okay.
Hell no. The book was like, prove yourself first. And I'm going to be honest. When I said okay with the no DQ match, it's because I hear Sam talk about himself so damn much. And I hear Mikey talk about himself so damn much. And I was like, you know what? You've talked about yourself and built yourself up. You can have the no DQ match because if you mess up one effing time, you're not going to get another damn match in the company. So put your money where your mouth is.
Well, and we've
good news is about we have seen Sam C. So
I know.
You know, we can vouch for him.
Yeah, we can vouch for him.
He's good.
Most definitely.
He's good. Mikey's good.
He is actually. Sam C. is the ACW Cruiserweight Champion.
Yeah,
actually.
He is.
I wanted them. In my mind, even though I wanted them to beat each other up in a no DQ match, I also wanted them to show me that they could handle it and have a stellar match. But
prove me deal.
It's going to have to wait because I got outbooked by the book, and even though it's my company, it's his job to be the book, and I'm not going to overstep my bounds.
I still think a one-on-one match between the two of them is going to be a possible show stealer.
It'll be awesome.
I think so.
It'll be awesome.
It could potentially be a match of the night.
And hopefully, with the book listing might.
We just recently saw a match actually between Sam and Jesse Neal, and that was a
that was
show
amazing.
stealer as well.
Yeah, it was
I'm
great.
telling you right now.
Yeah.
And
it was good.
He is very good for what he does, and he actually gave Jesse a run for his money. I want to say that right now. No disrespect to Jesse, because Jesse is one of the top.
Don't disrespect Jesse because
I'll hit you with something.
Let me tell you something. Because Jesse Neal
will hit you with a chair.
He came back and he won the match, but nevertheless, Jesse was there and he knows firsthand of what Sam C is about. So I think that Mikey Spandex, if you're listening, sir, you may want to think twice about taking this for granted when you face the fastest man in wrestling.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's probably just going to spend time picking out the proper pants.
Possibly.
So let me ask you this.
They should be green and black.
You know what? Point. You hearing, Mikey? You're not listening. You're picking out pants. But I'll call you and let you know. No, from a real standpoint, though, from a shoot standpoint, though, they wouldn't be on the show if I didn't think they could handle it. So
absolutely.
I think they could handle it.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. We're going to finish up here in just a second. But let me ask you this.
Sure.
You got this event coming up. Obviously, you got another event in March paid. Why should fans, I ask every person we interview with promotion on this, why should fans come to GCW? What is, if I'm a fan looking for an independent place to be, why GCW?
Besides chocolate.
I don't think that we're trying to get our company over by hiring a bunch of names. You know what I mean? I think our company is made up of people that are hard workers and are kind of like their family to us, and they'll probably say the same thing about me. Hopefully, they'll say the same thing about me. We talk amongst each other a lot. We are all friends, if not at least friendly with each other, but most of us are friends, and they've all known each other for a while. And I think we're out there trying to do something not so much different, just going about it from a longer marathon perspective instead of a sprint, not trying to be overly like superstars quick. My company is about longevity in life, not doing the right thing health wise to last longer. So I think our company is going at it from even though we move fast and we're on a network now, nothing else on TV.tv, and which is showing our new GCW Nation show, we're moving fast. But I'm not trying to push fast with just names. I'm not trying to hire a bunch of one-off names to come in, pay them a lot of money, and then they leave and you never see again. We're trying to invest our characters and our people for the long run, knowing that they are part of their family and they're normal people like us. And they're doing normal things. They might be superheroes and superstars when they're in the ring, but they're genuine people that have genuine family and genuine lives, and that's what we're trying to see accomplished. I don't know. We have good matches. We're not gimmicky. We're not going to have a bunch of gimmick matches. We're going to do solid wrestling with solid people that are going to show up and give a damn about what they're doing. So they have good matches for the people. We've got a good following. We've got a good group of wrestlers, and it keeps getting bigger from word of mouth that we do our wrestlers right and we do our workers right. So hopefully, that being said, we can hopefully showing that the business we do is done right and the family atmosphere that we have is done right will show outwardly, and people can see that we're genuine about it. So if you want to come see some badass wrestling and some badass working from genuine people that care about what they're doing, that's GCW. We're not out it for the money. We're not out it for the fame and fortune. That'll come. But we're at it because we love what we're doing.
Somebody once told me that if independent wrestling wants to survive, everybody's got to do a good job, because when everybody does a good job in independent wrestling flourishes.
Yeah. We don't want people to come to a show. Picture your first time in an independent wrestling show. If you come to an independent wrestling show and all you see is gimmicky, quirky, stupid stuff, some people might come back for that. a lot of people won't come back for gimmicky, quirky stuff. You can have like a couple things here and there, but like you have to show some sort of professionalism and the fact that you care about what you're doing. And I want people, if it's the first time they come to an indie show, oh, well, they might not have, millions of dollars production like WWE, but the quality of matches is probably going to be just as good, if not better. And they'll come back and they'll come back and they'll come back and they'll come back. I'm not going to be throwing death matches in there. I'm not going to be throwing blood all over the ring, stupid crap matches, because it's just not our thing, man. We want some substance, man. We might have shock value once in a while here and there, but our company isn't built around shock value. It's built around awesome,
Well, and that's a great point, and I think the one thing I'll commend you on is what you just said. I think that you have a product that's I love what you said, because you have a product where it's not built around bigger names. And I think so many.
No, some of them are.
Well, but and that's the one thing that I was saying, is that this is something that makes your independent company different, is that you have these superstars who are all in this for a team goal.
Yeah.
And it's a team thing, as you mentioned earlier. And I love that. And you I think you got some quality guys that are guys and girls, of course, that are great. Yeah, are great. So
there's no heat awesome. Backstage. I can honestly, legit say that there is no heat backstage. When we get back there, everybody, it's family, man. And I'm glad that I could be a part of that. And it's humbling to me too, because like I said, I am the greenest one in the industry right now, and they've all put their faith in me. And that's very humbling. So in turn, I want to, I want to treat them. I want to treat them well back, and I want them to be superstars. So
all right. So where can we find you? Social media, plug whatever you got.
Social media. Most of our social media is at GCW420. Or if you just type into Google Generation Championship Wrestling, GCW. We know we're not Game Changer Wrestling, so.
Is there one of those?
Yeah, we got so many calls and so many tags that we were. Oh, you guys did great in New York. Oh man. Funny story.
Wrong area.
Funny story. Mr. Ass freaking. Called me. Kip James. Where's he?
Billy Gunn.
Is he Billy Gunn again? Billy Gunn's wife.
Dude, he's in great shape. Did you see him?
Always, man.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I know, but like he is like jacked now. Anyway,
his wife sent us a message, I think yesterday morning. Wow, you guys are going to be in town for WrestleMania. I'd like to get Billy on the show. And the first thing I type back is, yeah, we're Generation Championship Wrestling. You're looking for Game Changer. So we get a lot of plugs from them. So it's GCW 420 online. You can Google us, Generation Championship Wrestling. We are now on what we call the network. It's not the big network, but it's getting there. The UK's version of Fight TV is nothing else on .tv, except they are centered almost on wrestling as their primary thing first. They just signed OWE. From China that AEW has been putting over. They signed WA, which is the Knights company in England. They have a bunch of Russian companies. They have almost every a British wrestling company you can think of. So we're on there now. So we have a new show called GCW Nation. It's every Tuesday. Wow. You can listen to our GCW podcast, which we started last week. It isn't as good as yours. We don't even have a theme song to play over and over and over yet. And our first show, we managed to lose the audio. Thank God I set up a video camera.
Wow. Hey, listen, Disney World opened and all the rides shut down the first day, or Disneyland, whatever. So,
that's how we usually are. But then again, man, we might be stoned. It happens, man. We're not. But yeah, just GCW pretty much everywhere. GCW 420 pretty much everywhere. And on YouTube, the same thing, GCW. Find us everywhere, man. We do everything. We're everywhere. Right. We're everywhere.
Do you have anything else?
February 16th.
Yes, That's right. February 16th. The Love of Wrestling at Tampa Bay Chocolate Festival, Carrollwood Cultural Center in Tampa, 4537 Lowell Road, Tampa, Florida, 33618. You can find Generation Championship Wrestling. Mr. Gomez, thank you, sir, for being on.
I appreciate you.
Good luck with your event. I'm definitely.
Now that's a theme song I can get used to. Mr. Gomez, what a great theme song, my friend. I'm telling you. The owner
Thank you,
GCW, Mr. Jeremy Gomez, and, of course, good luck to your guys.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Can't wait.
And I will be there. We got a lot of
ringside.
things going. We'll be there.
Next to Chuckles. I will be nowhere near my literally, Chuckles, if you're listening, I already literally instructed you to be on that table all day, even when you're not wrestling. But Chuckles, seriously. Extra clown noses and noisemakers if you if you stay on them.
I love it.
Chuckles, I will bring you a new kendo stick if you stay away, okay?
Chuckles, I got extra kendo sticks, for you, so just, mine aren't gimmicked kendo sticks either.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and come right back here on the J&J Wrestling Podcast right here on MixLR.
Hey, wrestling fans, you all know you want to get to WrestleMania or some other big event. Well, I got a treat for you. You can get your tickets at selectaticket.com. And when you use the code WRESTLE10, that's WRESTLE10, you can get $10 off of any sporting event. That includes the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania, NXT, how about the National Football League, Major League Baseball, and many, many, many more. Just remember, you need the code WRESTLE10, and that'll get you $10 off of any sporting event that you can get on selectaticket.com. What are you waiting for? Visit the website, selectaticket.com, and use the promo code WRESTLE10 and get $10 off. Tell them the J&J Wrestling Podcast sent you.
All right, folks, we are back right here on the J&J Wrestling Podcast. That was our commercial break, and we are back. We had a great interview with Jeremy Gomez. I mean, he's a great guy.
He's crazy.
He is a little crazy.
Just a little crazy.
But all of the greatest people in the world usually are.
That's true.
They're usually crazy people like yourself.
Right. And I am absolutely crazy, and that's absolutely true. But that reminds us now in 2 weeks at the Tampa Bay Chocolate Festival. Chocolate indeed. We're going to be, I'm going to be, and we'll explain why it's just going to be me in a few moments.
Yes.
I'm going to be at the Chocolate Festival covering GCW, and we hope to have some of their great.
It's going to be a great card.
Yeah, it's going to be a great card.
Talking about that a little bit ago, but that was a great card.
So. We're going to have as many people as we can on that show. It's obviously a long day because it's a chocolate festival. It's all day long.
Yep.
And if you like chocolate, you like wrestling, be there. And by the way, did we mention it's free?
It is free.
I think we mentioned that about 5 times now.
That's the best part about this, and I'm glad we got to talk to him about that because that's something that it's really cool. You don't see that a lot nowadays, and most everything you pay for, but this is something you get for free, and I think it's definitely worth it. The card itself is worth it.
Dude, last Saturday night, did you have a blast?
It was awesome, man. I had a blast. I know we didn't do, we were supposed to do a pre-show. That didn't really work out, and for obvious reasons. But
business calls, okay? Yeah. We helped out the program by being there for supporting them, and we did our jobs as based on what was best for business. And that's the most important thing. It's not just a cliche in the WWE. It's best for anybody who has business. And we had to take care of some things, and we did it for them. The post-show was amazing. Yep. It was great to have Jesse Neal. It was great to have
so great to have them.
Whatever, dude. It was great to have Jesse Neal and, of course, the voice Justin Michaels along with Ati Valu. We had ERA, and, of course, Mark Mandrake joined us again. He didn't seem too thrilled to see you.
That does happen when you're wrong.
It
happens when you're wrong.
You know what? The fact is, I don't think anybody was happy to see you that night.
You know what? It seemed to be the target of a lot of people. And you know what? That's fine because here's the thing. I've been saying this from the beginning of this whole issue with Mark and again with this issue with Jesse now apparently. I'm right. And just accept it that I'm right. And I was right about Abyss.
How about you're right is becoming disrespectful, and that's what the problem is with Jesse Neal.
It's not disrespectful. It is me simply stating I was right. And I was right. And I'm going to be right about Jesse, too. He made a bad decision.
Oh, you think he made a bad decision?
I know it.
You know what?
It may not happen anytime soon. But watch.
When I have Jesse Neal on the show, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and get you chimed in.
Well, I'll call in.
And we will go ahead and you can tell him that you were right. And by the way, don't be thinking he's just a Florida independent scene. I'm pretty certain he can go around to the Gulf Coast and he'll find you.
He'll find me.
Hey, anyway. The WWE just had the Royal Rumble.
Great.
My goodness. What a card.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, definitely something cool that we... Are we listening to the Super Bowl here? I don't know. Got some feedback coming in.
That's a first.
That's a lot of fun, though. I mean, hey, we got Super Bowl is today, so, might as well. It's going on right now, as a matter of fact, at halftime, and, anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
So, listen, the WWE Royal Rumble just happened, and our predictions are pretty much starting to come true, okay? Yeah, it went a little awkward to get around to what we're going for, but it looks like our WrestleMania main event is coming to fruition.
I wanted to read this to you because I wanted to see what you thought about this. And I think this is something that's pretty cool. As you know, I follow Bubba Ray or Bully Ray, whatever you want to call him.
He follows a Dudley.
And he has his own radio show on SiriusXM. You can get them at SiriusXM Channel 93. It's Busted Open Radio, so a little plug there for them. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to read this tweet to you because I think that this is something that I think we've been talking about, but I want to see what you feel about this. He tweeted this about 4 days ago, so we have 62 days until WrestleMania. And here's what the tweet says. It says, as of right now, the WWE has 62 days to come up with a story or match in the men's division that has more emotional investment than the women's. If they cannot, Becky and Ronda should main event WrestleMania. And then he goes on to say, before you respond, it says, however, if there was ever a woman who has earned the right to be in the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania, it is unquestionably Charlotte. So now how would you feel about a triple threat? So we have been very vocal on this show about saying that we believe the WrestleMania main event should and probably will, for all intents and purposes, be Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. But they have also been teasing this Charlotte issue. Your thoughts?
I read something not too long ago, and I go to 411mania.com, and they get all their sources from all over the place to announce what's going on. And just have to bear with me for a moment here, because it wasn't too long ago that I saw this tweet. But anyway, and basically, let's go through this. Its most important thing is that the WWE is pretty much putting their stock into the first female main event at WrestleMania. Okay, unless something totally crazy comes up in the next 6 weeks, that's your main event. There is nobody in the WWE generating as much news, as much fire as Becky Lynch.
That's true.
Okay? And there's nobody in the world right now that's hotter on the Raw division than Ronda Rousey.
True, too.
And the fact that Ronda Rousey's name is synonymous with main events from her days in UFC. There's really, this is really a no-brainer. Yes, I think Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar should be a main event any other day but this day.
But you have to go back to this, okay? Because here's the thing. What is a main event? Because here's the thing. A couple of years ago, actually this was a few years ago, when WrestleMania was in Orlando, you had Randy Orton who won the Royal Rumble at that point. And he said, I'm going to go on to headline and main event WrestleMania. That match was not the main event. It was Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. So I think the WWE doesn't do a very good job of describing what the main event is. To me, the main event is your last match of the night. It is the premier match of the night.
And that, under normal circumstances, is true. Of course, right. This is current time, okay?
Right.
You remember back in the day during the house show circuit when basically Madison Square Garden was the show, the main event used to go on in the middle of the show. Why? Because there was curfew restrictions.
Right.
They didn't want to have the main event go on last and curfew hit and all of a sudden the match had to stop.
So instead of saying that Becky and Ronda should be the main event, maybe it would be easier for us to say Becky and Ronda should finish the show.
That might be the best thing to say.
Because, and look, I'm not taking anything away from Ronda Rousey. She has been here in the company now for a year. She has done amazing things. She's come a long way. In fact, I said this a few weeks ago. I don't think there's been anybody in the company that has ever caught on to this from another sport other than maybe Kurt Angle as fast as she has. I mean, she has just come a long way. Now, the heat she got last Monday, I think the WWE needs to run with that. I mean, she was booed out of the building. I don't know if you heard that. But when Becky came out and Ronda started talking about her, her side of the promo, she couldn't even get a word in because it was so loud.
Matter of fact, she couldn't even get the challenge out. It had to end when Bayley actually came out to just say, hey, I challenge you, instead of Ronda challenging whoever.
Well, I'm saying after that match was over and Becky came out.
Nobody was going to let Ronda talk. That was the bottom line. Nobody was going to let Ronda talk because they all wanted one thing. It was the night after the Royal Rumble. Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble. It was very loud and clear what the WWE Universe wanted. We want Becky. End of story.
And I'm actually interested to see what happens tomorrow night. Stephanie McMahon has invited Becky to Raw, and she is going to speak to her. So I'm interested to see what is going to happen through this, because they could really go a number of ways. But I'm telling you, I really think Ronda Rousey could benefit from this heel, from being a heel in this moment.
Very true.
Who's the hottest babyface right now? Becky Lynch.
And she wasn't supposed to be a babyface.
No, she wasn't. She was supposed to be a heel, but then it just never happened.
Stone Cold Steve Austin syndrome all over again.
Exactly.
Right there. Hey, Seth Rollins won the men's Royal Rumbles.
He did.
From number 10, we both kind of said that was pretty much the plan. Seth Rollins will now go on and has chosen Brock Lesnar.
Well,
I don't know. Chose Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar chose him.
I think Brock Lesnar is like, you want some of this.
But nevertheless, that is going to be the main men's attraction at the Royal Rumble for the Universal Heavyweight Championship. Universal title remains with Brock Lesnar after a stellar match from Finn Balor.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was good. It was
Balor got more offense in than most people do.
I will say that Finn Balor has set the table for Seth Rollins to win the Universal title.
It's going to be good.
I really believe. I mean, look, Seth Rollins, and I think Finn Balor now is going into this program with Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship, which I'm completely okay with.
Actually, this Monday night, it's for the title.
Right. So, again, I'm completely okay with that. But I think the payoff, you've got to have... If Seth Rollins wins the title at WrestleMania, then you have to say at that point, hey, remember I took the Beast on at the Royal Rumble and wore him down, and you just finished the job.
Okay, so Finn Balor does deserve a title shot if Seth Rollins wins. I think Finn Balor is a man that can face Seth Rollins for the title down the line. But then again, what happens if Finn Balor becomes Intercontinental Champion?
Well, and look, it's not like Finn wouldn't be a great Intercontinental Champion. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I think Finn Balor should be Universal Champion.
Again.
He should. And I think that Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania makes a lot of sense. But I know what angle that they're going to go with this. They're going to go with Seth Rollins is going to be defending Roman Reigns' honor by winning the Universal title at WrestleMania. Brock took the title from, Roman because of the health issues and stuff, so he's not really a champion. So, stuff like that. And I think that that's a great angle to go with, and I think that that's the reason why Finn Balor didn't win.
There's another angle that could happen here, because we mentioned this before when we were talking with Mark Mandrake, that Brock Lesnar has a UFC date right between now and WrestleMania that could come up. It's talked about. It's not official yet, but very well could come up. And he's still the Universal Champion.
Right.
And he could very well be UFC Heavyweight Champion by the time WrestleMania comes along.
I wouldn't like that. I would not like that at all. That would be terrible.
Either way, you're going to get...
You're holding the title up even more, because when you... All right, look, I don't know if you've ever trained for UFC or seen the training for UFC, but it is grueling. And you think of nothing but UFC. You think of nothing but training. Do you honestly believe that Brock Lesnar would train for UFC and show up to a WWE event during that training? No way. There's no way that would
happen.
He
doesn't have to show up for an event until further into March.
Which makes my point even further. He should not be Universal Heavyweight Champion.
Well,
period.
I think in April that will come to fruition.
I agree. And I hope it does. Because, to be honest, if you leave the title on Brock any longer than now, you're just it's pointless.
It's devaluing the title.
It's already devalued the title. It has already done that. Roman Reigns was on the trail to making that title relevant again. And then, obviously, WWE was not planning for health issues with him. Or maybe they were. I don't know. It's interesting to see in the coming days how long, Roman knew that this was happening and stuff like that. But, you built up Roman for so long, and now you're going to start building up Seth, and there has to be a payoff. There has to be a payoff.
Shane McMahon, The Miz, won the SmackDown Tag Team titles, beating The Bar. That was fun. Very good match.
I said it was going to happen, and I liked it.
I think the biggest shocker is not only did we have one new United States champion this past weekend, but we had two United States champions crowned this weekend. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Rusev on the pre-show for the Royal Rumble, and then on SmackDown in the opening contest, R-Truth with an upset victory over Shinsuke Nakamura, and then successfully defended the title against Rusev.
Controversial victory, of course, but nonetheless, R-Truth. And listen, look, R-Truth is an entertainer. He is, and listen, his career in TNA, for instance, as Ron the Truth Killings,
his career all over the place,
right? And I mean in WWE as well, it is. But I think the other side of this is that he had a more successful career in the TNA side as opposed to the WWE side overall.
That was his first championship win in nearly 7 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And you said controversial, and it is very controversial. And we've watched replays over and over again. His shoulders were down for the entire 3 count. The referee did make the right call. It was very close, though.
It was very, very close. And my, for him to beat Nakamura and then come out and immediately defend the title against Rusev
and
was a very good call by SmackDown.
I don't mean to speculate, but part of me doesn't believe that was the end of the match.
But it would be tough to not disagree with you. I mean, it would be tough for me to say, well, maybe not. But I think the way it all ended, you have a very strong argument to say maybe that wasn't the way it was supposed to go, and they sent Rusev out there to make it justified. But at the same time, what was the point of having Rusev and Nakamura fight again? Because you literally just turned. You said this before we got on the air today. This title's changed hands several times now. How many times it changed hands?
It changed hands 2 times and over this past weekend, and it's the 3rd time it's changed since Christmas.
Yeah, so 3 title changes in 2 months. Not even 2 months. Yeah, a month and a half.
It's a little over a month. Yeah.
So either this title is becoming the WCW title, where they had like 30 title changes in 2 months, or you're going to start building R-Truth as your United States champion, which, don't get me wrong, like R-Truth's a talented athlete, but is he going to bring that title prestige? I don't know. Now, unless the only thing I could think that they may be doing is they may be building R-Truth as the champion, and then they're going to have someone from NXT come up and take that title from him.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about NXT. We have a new North American champion.
In what I think
was the match of the night.
Not only the match of the night, but it might very well be my match, one of my favorite NXT matches, period. What's the best NXT match you've ever seen in the entire time? It doesn't have to be a live one. I mean on TakeOver or anything like that. What's the best match you've seen?
Let's talk about live. I mean, quite honestly, Andrade versus Sami Zayn was definitely my favorite, and that was live. And that tells you something on a live event that happens. Yeah. In regards to television, God, I have to sit here and just go nitpicking to say what I wanted to be the favorite because there's just so many of them.
I'll tell you my favorite television one. My favorite television NXT match was Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the very first time when Nakamura debuted. Mm-hmm. That might be my favorite NXT match of all time. Mm-hmm. But man,
this might change your game right here.
Adam Cole and Ricochet was pretty darn good too for the North American title last year.
And now Johnny Gargano winning the North American Championship from Ricochet. What a match!
That match had everything you could have wanted. It had great spots. Ricochet's dive over the top turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm. That's not only the top turnbuckle. That was over the post, over the whole entire post.
Yeah,
yes,
I've never seen that. That was something I'd see, and that's the thing. This is why I love
see it
NXT.
Rarely. You see it very rarely.
No, I have never personally.
I've seen it. I've seen it once done by Sean Waltman.
Okay, but
that was a long time ago, though. So that tells you how spaced out it was.
I have never seen personally myself anyone do that, and that to me is what makes NXT so good. They do these things that no one has ever seen, and it's awesome.
Sam Roberts said something very critical about Bianca Belair on the post show, on the pre-show.
Overrated?
That she was overrated, but I think Bianca Belair actually had a very good match with Shayna Baszler.
I disagree. I actually thought that the worst
let me rephrase this, okay? Not to Bianca Belair's efforts. She did put an effort in there. I think Shayna Baszler didn't put as much an effort as Bianca did.
I think that Bianca Belair had personally no business being in the match. I didn't like it from the beginning, and it proved my point at TakeOver, that it wasn't as good as people thought it would be. The problem with that is that this shows that there is no depth right now in the NXT women's division. Shayna Baszler is the best in the women's division right now. She is. She's the champ. But who is there that outside of Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley,
who are on the NXT
UK, right?
Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane's already lost.
She's already lost, but she's still a former Mae Young Classic winner.
But again, she's already lost to Shayna. So you've already had her lose twice now to her in championship matches. Yes, she's beat her once
and won the title.
And she won the title, but then she lost it again.
And hot potato has happened before. Don't get me wrong, okay? And I want to say this out. I want to say this to you because this is very important, okay? Back in the yesteryears, okay, you had the Intercontinental title change hands between two men, and it happened twice. And forgive me because I'm clouded right now, trying to think. It was all the smoke that was left behind from Jeremy, okay? But, I mean, I want to get to the point that it was, I believe, Pedro Morales and the Magnificent Morocco. They actually traded the title back and forth on two occasions. And I'm saying two occasions. I mean 2 occasions each. They've won and lost the title to each other. So it can still happen. It's just a new time frame.
Why wouldn't you put Kairi Sane in the match then?
Because you have to try to push the talent. You have to give them an opportunity, okay? Yes, maybe it wasn't a great opportunity at this time, but you know what? You don't get opportunity just because you have to take an opportunity, okay? Is what I'm trying to say. Is you need to step up, okay? She didn't step up all the way this time. That's great. Go back there and keep on working on it. At least she did step up to the opportunity.
I didn't care for it. I didn't care for it. I didn't care for it when it happened, when it was signed.
But my question for you is this. My question for you is this. Should Sam Roberts on WWE television say such a thing like that?
Yes, he should. He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth, and we saw what happened. He saw what happened. Sam Roberts, for all he does, he's a great, radio host. He does a great job. I think he does a great job hosting the pre-shows and things like that and being a guest and all that stuff. He looks weird, but still, I do too, so it is what it is. But, again, I would much rather have someone sit there and be honest than to have someone sit there and just blow steam. Because Sam Roberts said everything that we knew. That she's that she is a little bit overrated right now.
Do you believe Bianca Belair's retort by telling him he can kiss her ass was the right retort?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and I say that because that's what that's what you're supposed to do. If you believe in yourself, you defend yourself. If you believe you're right, you defend yourself. Just like I did several times here when I said Abyss was going to beat Lou Cypher.
Oh, whatever.
I had to defend myself. That's what I did.
Just remember that Mark Mandrake accepted the match before the match happened, okay?
Yeah, was that
regardless
out of fear,
of that,
though? Or
I don't think it was out of fear. I think that was out of respect. But anyway, let's go back to it. We have new tag team champions. The War Raiders defeated...
What a match.
The Undisputed Era, and what a classic tag team match
I was not happy with that, by the way, because you know me, I love Undisputed Era. I'm a mark when it comes to Undisputed Era. What?
Oh, yeah, you just wanted to play this theme song. Okay, yeah, I'm hearing it in the background. Yeah. Whatever, yeah. Okay, sure.
The system.
Okay. All right. Turn it down. All right, so I can hear myself. Okay.
Whatever.
Nevertheless, a fantastic match. Roderick Strong, definitely MVP in that match. But I'm going to tell you something. Hanson and Rowe, wow. For some big men, they moved.
They flew.
They flew.
It was great.
And, of course, Kyle O'Reilly, an amazing talent.
That guy is so good.
And he plays the air guitar very well. He can't be playing it right now, unfortunately. He doesn't have a belt to do it on. But
ooh.
Yeah, I know. Well, it is what it is. This is
it.
And
of course, we had the NXT Championship on the line.
I think the right man went over.
Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa. Another really good emotional match. Kind of started a little slow, but I think that's what those two had to do. I think that's what those two. That's the style you see. It's going to start slow, methodic, but it picked up right around the halfway point in the match. Man, there were some crazy good spots in that match too. And you're very right. I think the right man held on to the title in that, Tommaso Ciampa. And then there was a moment. There was a moment at the end of the stage where Johnny Gargano came out and they both held up the titles.
Which led that happened as the show was closing. What you did not see until about a day later was what happened when Velveteen Dream showed up. Mm-hmm. Aleister Black came up to the stage. Adam Cole came out. And Ricochet joined them. And they all started a brawl right on the stage with officials trying to break it up. That continued back in Gorilla. Finally, it was Triple H who had to step in and separate everybody.
Crazy.
And that leads to the match that possibly you've watched since you've seen the show, or maybe you'll see it after you listen to us, because obviously we're playing during the Super Bowl.
Right.
And that is a 6-man tag with Ricochet. Ricochet.
Velveteen Dream.
Thank you. Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black taking on the NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa, the new NXT North American champion, Johnny Gargano, and Adam Cole. Baby.
That's right. And look, that match is going to be, was phenomenal. Those are the 6 best guys right now that NXT has. And that's, the last time they had a halftime match. You remember that?
Halftime Heat, 1999. It was
Foley and The Rock.
Right. The Rock lost the WWE Championship to Mick Foley.
To a forklift.
To a forklift, yes. A forklift pin.
A pallet carrier.
Yes.
Good stuff. Well,
did you see the WWE Championship design?
Oh, the hemp.
The hemp belt. I know we missed talking about that.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk too much about that. But
yeah, we have the new WWE Championship design. I think Daniel Bryan's going to wear that very proud. I bet you that cost a bunch of money.
Dude, that thing looks cool, though.
It does.
It looks really awesome.
It does.
You see that at first, and you're like, well, this is kind of weird. And then you look at it, and how much design and how much work went into that belt.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
That is a beautiful belt. Daniel Bryan is going to be defending the WWE Championship inside Elimination Chamber.
That's going to be crazy.
Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe.
Mustafa Ali.
And Mustafa Ali.
Dude, Mustafa Ali is going to do a crazy spot, I have a feeling.
And, of course, the SmackDown brand's been announcing their tag teams to go into the Elimination Chamber for the women's tag team titles.
The Iconics got added.
Iconics are now added.
So there's 4 heel teams.
It's going to be good.
There's 4 heel teams.
Yeah.
Any baby faces?
We'll find out probably this week. Bailey and Sasha Banks have their qualifying match this week.
So
okay.
They'll probably be the one. I'm pretty sure they'll be in it. Yeah,
that's fine. So that's a lot going on there in WWE. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to break character here for a little bit here.
Hold on. Before you do that, let me set the table for you. Okay. Before you do that,
go ahead.
All right. Okay. This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be earlier. So I wanted to come on and tell you guys two things. The first thing is that there has been no other than my kids and getting married.
Including the ones he doesn't know about.
No, none of those. I have not had this much fun doing things in a very long time. This podcast was started in December, just a couple of months ago, and we had no idea what we were going to do with it. We had a goal, we had a mindset, and we just tried to come on here every week and have fun. We tried to come on here, whether it was James telling me how wrong I am, or me telling him how mean he is, or me getting yelled at by several wrestlers and fans and those things. And I got yelled at by plenty.
Or somebody coming on here and just keep on saying chuckles.
But all that being said, I want to let you all know that this is my last show with you, me personally. My family and I have accepted a new position in Alabama, in Monroeville, which is about an hour north of Mobile. And it's a position that I have been working my whole life toward, and I'll also be going to school. And so, unfortunately, like I said, this will be my last show with you guys. The second thing I wanted to tell you, and I know this is going to sound cliche, and I know this is going to sound stupid, but seriously, I want to thank every person that has sat in this chair across from me as a guest. I want to thank every person that has come to the shows and been on our guests. I want to thank Alex Red. I want to thank Jeremy Gomez. I want to thank Nick Hansberry, Mark Mandrake even. I can't believe I'm thanking him. But Ferrari, I mean, there's just so many people that I want to thank.
Jesse Neal, Jason Dugan, Ray Zion. Guys, and by the way, congratulations to Ray Zion, new ARW Hardcore Champion.
That's right.
Congratulations. That happened just last night. And, Shannon Moore, Garrett Bischoff, and Wes Briscoe.
Which those were those were really the first guests we ever had on. Yeah. Well, outside Izzy. We had Izzy on.
Izzy, thank you very much.
Yeah, and so I say all those thank yous, but the greatest thank you that I could possibly give, not only to those people who have listened to this show and have followed us on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else, but the greatest thank you that I could possibly give would be to my co-host. There are not a lot of people in this world who are as passionate and as awesome in wrestling as this man who sits across from me. We may not always agree on a lot of things, and that's healthy. But I want to tell you, James, you are one of my best friends in this world. I am excited that you will continue the legacy of this podcast, whether it's I know we have somebody new that's going to be starting with you. But I want to tell you, if it were not for you, this dream would not have taken place. And if it weren't for you, we would not be sitting here on a week-to-week basis talking wrestling, two guys who just love the sport. So I want to tell you thank you. And I am really grateful, humble, and I'm looking forward to seeing where you take this podcast going forward. Anyway, so that's at the table for you. So anyway.
There are a lot of things coming, but hey, listen, we talked about opportunity, okay? The night after Survivor Series, or actually it was the night of Survivor Series, me and James sat down with a cell phone in hand, and we recorded ourselves talking about what happened.
Crap,
it did. It sounded like shit. Oh, man. Forgive me. I know it's a PG show, but it sounded like shit. Okay? And we sat there, but we talked about what we love. And we talked about Survivor Series, and we talked about the whole entire thing with Becky Lynch going to WrestleMania, becoming the main event, and beating Ronda Rousey. And we had so much fun doing that we sat here, right here in this very building, on the other side, where we do our podcast. We sat in front of a computer that didn't have very good microphones. Matter of fact, we didn't use a microphone. We talked right into the computer, and we aired our first episode on there. Now, it sounded okay. We did our best. And, of course, right at that point, then James' son was born the very next week. And I had to go alone, and I had to start buying stuff to get this thing going here, okay? And that one show was very echoey, but you know what? I got the show out. We talked about a lot of wrestling. I had my first guest, which was my co-host, James. We were happy to announce that his son was born, and that was the best thing coming out of the broadcast since then, is I got to announce his son was born, even if it was only for the week that he was. He brought so much joy to all of us. And the very next week, after everything has happened, James was ready to step back up to the plate. Even a day after everything happened, we back on the air together. And since then, we've been talking about local promotions. We had Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling, Prestige Wrestling Entertainment, today Generation Championship Wrestling. I plan on continuing this legacy. I am working with some really great folks that want to put this together to keep it going. The J&J Wrestling Podcast, the name may be retired soon. We don't know. We're going to rebrand it. But the whole entire purpose of this podcast is going to continue. And it will continue starting next week. I am going to have a close friend of mine and a new R&B artist, I would call him a hip-hop artist, Jay Smooth, is going to join me, as well as the owner of PWE, Nicholas Hansberry. We're going to talk about the show last week. We're going to talk about the upcoming show in March. Also, right after that, we have GCW. We're going to be live, or I'm going to be live. I wish you were going to be there. I actually really wanted you to be there.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
But we're going to be there. The J&J Wrestling Podcast will be there, and we're going to talk to some of the stars there. I'm really hoping that we can get to talk to people like Jesse Neal, Sam C., Trish Adora.
Chuckles.
If I have to face Chuckles, I will.
You will.
I will.
He's going to make something happen. I have a feeling.
I have that feeling, too. I've been in talks with Justin Michaels and the Brothers in Arms to get them on the show so they could talk about their upcoming tag team match that's going to happen in PWE. Mark Mandrake will be back on the show coming up soon. That is a promise. He wants to tell you all about why he made his decision to face Abyss and what was his announcement going to be, which he has posted, but he wants to go into detail about it. So we got some really great things coming up for you. Sam C., who was supposed to be here today, unfortunately, due to some circumstances, was unable to be with us. He will be joining us very soon as well. We're working on getting that scheduled. And I'm going to be in Los Dos Plebes on the 16th of March. And whether it's the podcast or whether it's me doing what I have to do best, be on this microphone, one way or another, things are going to be awesome. So, yes, the name may change. The priorities are going to be the same. We're going to bring you the best content we can have here on the J&J Wrestling Podcast or whatever it's named in the future. But I didn't get this because I wanted to do it. No, this man wanted to start it. I'm going to continue the legacy. He opened up the door. Opportunity knocked. I kicked the door down. And I've heard that somewhere. Thank you, Jesse. And it's literally that. The opportunity was there, and I kicked the door down. Got myself a little board, got myself some microphones. We sound awesome now.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. And we're going to keep on going. We're going to make it great. And I'm telling you right now, This may be our last show on MixLR for a while, but we have our Facebook. We have YouTube. We're looking into getting on iTunes. We're looking at getting on Spotify. So many different things going to be happening in the next few weeks. Tune in for the ride. I'll keep you posted on Facebook. Next week, I'll be posting that on Facebook as well as YouTube. And we'll get you all the information that you need. And I want to let you know, James, I wish you the best of luck. We will do this again.
Yes, we will.
Anytime you come down here and visit, you're welcome on this show.
Yeah, buddy.
Hell, if I have to
it's my show, people.
Yeah, but excuse me. So, I mean, you gave me an opportunity, and I ran with it, and now I'm going to take it to some great heights. And then that's what's going to make you proud that I keep on going, man.
Looking forward to it, buddy.
With that said, GCW coming up in 2 weeks. Once you be there, it's free. Chocolate Festival, Generation Championship Wrestling. I'm telling you, man, you're going to enjoy it. March 16th, PWE. Jesse Neal, Ativalu against the brother-in-arms for the PWE Tag Team Championship, as well as Abyss challenging Mark Mandrake for the PWE Heavyweight Championship. That's coming up. And we're looking forward to the Elimination Chamber. The women's tag team titles will be decided in the steel structure, as well as the WWE Championship. So there's a lot of things coming up that we're going to be able to talk about here on this podcast, which is still today, the J&J Wrestling Podcast.
All right, we want to thank our very special guest, Jeremy Gomez, for joining us here live in the studio. We want to thank all of our sponsors, of course, SelectAticket.com, as you heard earlier. And, again, thank you all so much. I know this is we ended with a little bit of a sad note today, but I appreciate you guys. I love you all. My name is James Ludeman. We are signing off.
James Pritzky here. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, you will.
With Nicholas Hansberry and Jay Smooth.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening on mixlr.com/JNJ-podcast and YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else this is playing currently.
And with that said, for the final time, James will lead off with the final saying on the show that we do every week on the show, and that is peace. Deuces.
On March 16th, live in Largo, Florida, the superstars of PWE will show no remorse. See Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer, the Monster Abyss, alongside Father James Mitchell. Challenge the PWE Heavyweight Champion, the Suicide Messiah, Mark Mandrake, alongside the Army of Darkness for the PWE Heavyweight Championship in an Anything Goes match. Also, see the Dog of War, Jesse Neal, and the modern-day Samoan Savage, Ativalu, alongside the Voice, Justin Michaels. Challenge the Brothers in Arms for the PWE Tag Team Championship. All this, plus much more, when PWE presents No Remorse, live from Los Dos Plebes. Get your tickets now.